Hi Pisces, I hope you're all well. This is going to be a general timeless reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Ascendant. Well, Rising is Ascendant. If you're not sure what your placements are, there is a link in the description box where you can do a free birth chart analysis and understand what your full placements are. So Pisces, I tried to do your reading last week and the words just did not come out, and I got the energy of not being able to express yourself or feeling stifled, feeling stumped. It was so bad that I decided not to publish it. Not so bad in terms of the message, but I just could not express myself. I could not get the words out. So here again, to see what's going on with you, Pisces. That energy was quite transformational, but also heavy. So going through some rebirth energy is what I found, Pisces, or what I felt, and also new cycles, leaving things behind. But let's see what comes through for you today. Okay, Spirit, for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. Let's see, Pisces. Okay, Seven of Wands. Sagittarius got this card as well. It's boundaries, Pisces. I think that came out in the last reading as well. Boundaries, protecting your energy. But let's get all the cards. Knight of Cups. Wow, that is a card of Pisces. So thank you for showing up for your reading, Pisces. The Lovers. Wow. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, the Eight of Cups. So walking away from something, Pisces, that is not serving you emotionally, that is actually draining you emotionally. The Eight of Cups is letting go of everything that you have perhaps emotionally invested in, but have not received reciprocation in. And what she's doing is choosing to walk away from that as these cups dissolve into this body of water, which is emotion. Cups energy is emotional energy. There's still one cup that's burning. There's still a flame burning. So there's still some residual energy, I feel, that's left in the situation, but you're choosing to walk towards your wish fulfillment, Pisces, and what is going to bring you joy, happiness, reciprocation, energy exchange that feeds your soul. I'm getting the sense that there's a situation that you've been giving a lot to that hasn't necessarily been doing the same for you, Pisces. And behind that card, it kept peeping out and wanting to show itself, is the Four of Swords, which is healing energy. It's after a heartbreak, and what I'm feeling here is a possible breakup or dissolution of a relationship, Pisces, is what I'm seeing in the cards. And a very intense connection as well, with the Lovers card being here. But let's have a look, Pisces. So the cards that you got today, and I'm only doing 3 cards for these general readings, are the Seven of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and the Lovers card. Major Arcana card, card of Gemini. So if we take one card at a time and then put the story together, Pisces, if we take the Seven of Wands energy, this is about protecting your boundaries. Card of fire, wands of fire. 7 energy is about resting, on the 7th day. It is about resting. These wands don't have any holders. What I mean by that is you can't actually see the people that are wielding these wands towards her. And what that can mean is either you feel some level of attack, energetic attack, or there are a lot of opinions coming towards you that are not necessarily helpful along your journey, Pisces. And I'm feeling that it is within a relationship. There could be family members, there could be friends, colleagues, people involved that have a lot to say and believe that they have a lot of influence over this. But you need to protect your energy and bubble your energy is what I'm feeling. She is surrounded by a bubble. And this is a very good practice, especially for you, Pisces, being a water sign, being deeply intuitive. You often tend to sponge others' emotions and sponge up others' etheric field or energetic field and frequencies. If you walk into a room with heavy energy, you will probably feel that energy deeply, physically, even physically so. So headaches, heart palpitations, or you might just feel really drained and tired, especially when you're dealing with these types of interactions. When I say these types, these can be very triggering because this wand energy can be triggers as well that are coming towards you, Pisces. But what you are working on is your own sense of self-worth. You see how she's got her hands placed over her heart center, just above the solar plexus. Solar plexus energy is about confidence. It's about self-worth. It's about standing in your power. It's about your own sense of self-worth as well. And the solar plexus is governed by the sun. And so is Leo. It's very much Leo energy. And we have just entered Leo season. So this could be something that has happened quite recently for you, Pisces, but I see you sitting strong in your feminine energy, and it doesn't matter whether you are or how you identify. Every one of us has feminine energy, and this is very much queen energy. Feminine energy sits still. It doesn't chase. It doesn't hustle. It doesn't force. It is able to sit in peace and in trust and allow flow. And for that flow to come in, for your guidance to come in, your inner guidance, I'm getting very strongly inner guidance here, Pisces, because of that energy of the solar plexus and because she's turning away from these ones. It's about ignoring the noise and listening to what is coming through for you intuitively. And again, your intuition is incredibly strong, Pisces, so tapping into that. The heart center as well in this situation. For some of you, there's a need to retreat. There's a need to spend some time journaling or in meditation, Pisces, whatever aligns with your faith and whatever works for you. But there's some energy needed here to hermit. And that's actually what came out in your last reading was the hermit card. I just remembered. And it came out very strongly that you're needing to go within and find answers for yourself in the situation. In fact, the hermit card came out twice. Once in this deck and then clarified by the Rider-Waite deck. So a very powerful message there. So take the time, Pisces. What I'm getting is, and this is a card of Pisces, the Knight of Cups, is a lot of giving energy from your side, Pisces. There's been a lot of giving to someone who might just be a taker. Maybe a little bit of a player as well. Or not necessarily a player physically, but someone who is non-committal, who is unable to commit. And again, I'm struggling to express myself. But this energy, whoever you're dealing with, I'm feeling, has a fear of commitment, has a fear of stepping in fully, comes in fleetingly, but because of their fear, it's inconsistent. So there's a lot of back and forth energy with this person. And you feel, and this is a card of Pisces, you feel as if you've been overgiving, or that there isn't a balance emotionally, physically, mentally, in what you've been giving versus what this person has been giving, Pisces. So that is definitely going to create a sense of feeling drained. And that's probably why you're thinking about moving away from this, or trying to find your balance again, and what your wish fulfillment is, what it is that you want. You know, when we get into relationships, sometimes the feeling is that, especially when we feel lonely, or we feel, and you know, we all work on these wounds, that there's still some form of validation in someone loving us. There's still some form of feeling like you belong, because there is a narrative around, you know, if you're single, are you worthy of being loved? And so we can seek out situations, people, interactions, relationships, and force them to fit what our idea of wish fulfillment is. And then forget that we have a bigger vision. And then we tend to settle with that situation for fear of not finding anything else. But with this card of walking away, Pisces, that came out of the bottom of the deck, I do feel, because the Nine of Cups is about wish fulfillment. So I strongly feel as though you're finding what that is again for you, and realizing that this connection isn't cutting it. It is a very intense connection though, Pisces, with the Lovers card here. The Lovers card, Adam and Eve. The card of Gemini, you could be dealing with a Gemini, but you see here it is the card 6, which is about balance. Again, you can have this intensity, this passion, but there needs to be a reciprocation in it. And what I feel is that your energy, especially when you're connecting physically with this person, if you are, and if that resonates, is being drained, because even a sexual exchange is sacred energy exchange, and you're literally plugging into each other. And if this other individual is plugging into you and not necessarily providing, then you are going to feel very drained after these interactions. In the moment, it could feel fiery, passionate. You know, there's a lot of desire here. There's a lot of connection here. But I'm lacking seeing the balance. This is what has drawn you back to this person over and over, though, Pisces. It is the passion. It is on another level. It's something you haven't felt before. There is an intuitive connection between you and this person. A telepathic connection is what I just heard as well. You could also be dealing with a Sagittarius. I just saw her tattoo, the bow and arrow. But it is something where, you know, it happens in cycles, and there's no real conclusion to it. There's no real sense of moving forward into an emotional commitment, into some form of intimacy, emotional intimacy as well. I feel like this person does a lot of emotional baiting, but then deflects it or takes it back because of their own fear of emotional intimacy. And I'm hearing gaslighting as well. There could be mild gaslighting involved, where you you starting to feel that you're imagining this connection, or that you're imagining that, there is such an intensity, but you're not imagining it, Pisces. It's just that the other energy you're dealing with is unable to process it, and is not ready to process it until they have healed their own fears of emotional intimacy and why they feel that they can't show up fully, what is preventing them from showing up fully. And that's not something you can give to someone, Pisces. That is something they need to figure out for themselves when they are ready. I have learned that, you can guide people, talk to them about what you're perceiving, what you're observing, what you need, but if they're not in the space to receive that advice or to pursue their own healing journey, then there is literally nothing we can do. We have no control over another person's free will. So I'm feeling, if it hasn't been, an actual breakup, I'm feeling that, you are thinking about how to approach the situation so that you benefit, so that you feel fully acknowledged and honored and validated. So Pisces, let's just get an overall energy for this reading from the Rider-Waite. I hope that resonated. I am doing personal readings again if you are interested, and if this has resonated, then please reach out. My details are also below in the description box. I see I'm struggling to talk again. This person doesn't communicate, or well, in the situation, you feel like you're unable to communicate or unable to express yourself for fear of offending this person, or they tend to deflect a lot and they want to move on very quickly from emotional conversations. They're not able to sit in it. There's a sense of wanting, the connection to always be joyous and happy, but that's not reality. You need someone, Pisces, especially with your emotional depth and intuition. You need someone that is going to be able to match that energy and have the difficult conversations. King of Swords, exactly. This is the energy that you're needing. Someone who is able to communicate, an excellent communicator. The King of Swords, card of Gemini, card of Aquarius, but also an air sign, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. You could be dealing with either of those signs, but someone that is able to sit in King energy, commit, speak the truth, own their truth, Pisces. The shadow side of the King of Swords, however, is also someone that can be narcissistic and really blunt and cutting with their words. And I think, Pisces, you are extremely sensitive to that. So I do feel that is what is weighing you down. It's eroding your vitality. I just heard your energetic vitality, and lowering your frequency. I feel like you have to lower your frequency to match this person. And even though there's a part of you that wants to keep this alive and that keeps wanting to connect and make this work, what you're realizing is that it's just not worth what you're putting in. If that makes sense, Pisces. Okay. I'm going to end it there, but sending you so much love. And again, If this has resonated and you're looking for a personal reading, please reach out. Until next time, Pisces.